We're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hacking the Internet on the Internet Computer. And I am Hans Larsen, software engineer on the. I'm the lead of the SDK team, and we started this series to try to get people to, hack on the Internet Computer and like basically work by example, showing examples of how things work, and being able to have like more an open question kind of format, like Q&A. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chats and just put them on the forums. You can always join us on our forums, which is from .definity.org. Wow, forum.definity.org. There will be a link in the YouTube. And if you want to see the SDK, you can come to sdk.definity.org. And you'll have all the documentation and how to use everything that we do here. You'll know how to use it. A little bit of announcement this morning, just in general. Everybody's working from home. Everybody knows why. We're going to try to not talk about the subject too much. And we released 0.53 as of a few days ago, Monday. And 0.53 actually has a few little things that we want to announce. The Candid UI, the web interface for testing your canisters, we'll show you that with our project. The Bootstrap server, which show errors. My 1-year-old in the background who's not happy about something. The Bootstrap server now shows error messages when you use the canister IDs or when you make a mistake. Like before, it was just in the console. It was kind of awkward. And the replica now uses a random port. So if you want to run it into separate projects, you can. And oh, wow, he's very not happy about something. And we've got a bunch of fixes. We're still working on some issues and breaking changes. It happens. We still don't have float supports. We do have kind of float supports in many layers of the software, but we're missing some little part here. So expect that to be coming soon. And we can't use a word data type yet, a fixed size like 32 bits when using the command line, for example. So yeah, we're fixing that. And so just to recap a little bit what we've done so far, we've had one episode of this series. It's a series about building a blog. Yeah, so float support will come soon, but not in 0.53. Just 1 second. Sorry that people are sending me messages that their laptop, their bandwidth is not fine, is bad. So yes, so float support is going to be in soon at some point, but we have some pieces in there. We're still working on the rest. Yes, so Journey was we're starting a series, and this is the second episode of this series of building a blog engine like WordPress that is called Journey, just because I thought it was a good blog engine name, and it's kind of fitting that we're on a journey to do it. And so far, I'm gonna switch here to my screen here. So far, what we had was creating the backend of the blog engine, which basically takes an entry, which is in types, an entry of a blog engine as an ID, how to identify this entry when we click on it or something. The other, which is just a text for now, but we'll add capabilities for having accounts later on, and a content, which is the actual content of the blog post. And basically a blog post is just an array of entries. We don't need databases or anything like that. So contrary to like WordPress, this can be set up to run in literally 1 minute. You don't need to install anything except DFX, for example. And we'll talk a little bit later about how to run that locally. Well, to run that locally, you just have to clone the repo. And the repo is now officially available on my own account. So there you go. If you go Hansel/journey, you'll see the journey repo, and every episode will have a commit essentially. So this is what we did with the first episode. As you can see, there's not a lot there, but we created the project, so that's accounting for something. And today we're going to do a lot more. Today we're going to add a front end to it. So we're going to go and so this is the back end. So if I go back to where I was and DFX build this, it should still build fully. Oh, yes, that happens. So we updated 0.5.3. I nuked my cache. That was my mistake. And now I cannot go back to 0.5.2. So this might happen as we move forward a little bit, and before we actually have capacity to download older versions. This will happen a lot. So what this means, and I'm kind of glad it happened because it might happen to you guys, and I want to make sure that I can explain. I explain what's going on. But essentially, all the versions that you have installed have a cache folder. So you can see that I've been working on DFINITY, surprisingly, and I have some custom cache that are dirty. But essentially, you will, if you look at that, you will see 0.50, 0.51, 0.52, 0.53. And now if I do DFX version, oh, yeah. Oh, that's a bug. It should still show you the version. But anyway, DFX version is 0.53. But we do encode that version in your dfx.json. So if I go into dfx.json, you can see that this project was made by 0.52. And it expects 0.52. So I have a few options here to fix that unknown DFX version 0.52. It just means that it doesn't find it in your cache. So one option is, of course, I can just edit this file with VI because I'm just an expert at terminal stuff. I save this, and now if I do DFX, build, it might fail, but at least like it's going to use 0.53 because if there's no DFX keys in there, that means that it's going to take whatever version that you're running, whether or not it's compatible or not. What I can do is change the version to 0.53, which really will be exactly the same. So now I'm using 0.53. Or as a last resort, I can download 0.53. So I can download 0.52. So I can force the version that's being installed. This is a secret feature. We don't document it because we don't really want people to use it. Just the reason we don't officially support it is because DFX should itself be able to download 0.52. There should be some way to download a version of DFX if it's not available. But essentially, you can just install 0.52. Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh yes, that's because I was copy pasting from a bad editor, and it had like those literary quotes. And so it's going to install 0.52, and now I'm going to have 0.52. Since this blog is a little bit at the edge of everything, we're probably just going to want to use 0.53 and make sure that it still works. We don't particularly want to keep 0.52 around in this blog because. So anyway, I'm going to kill this. I'm gonna quit my bash, and I'm gonna go in dfx.json and go at 20 and just make sure that I'm always using the latest. So I just remove the key. It's gonna use whichever version that you're using. So if you're using an incompatible version, even if it's older, it's going to use that version. So just be careful. It's not necessarily in your best interest. You have to know what you're doing. So we DFX build to make sure that everything builds. As you can see, not everything built. Can't resolve IC user lib. And that is because we actually did a change in here, I think. So IC user lib used to be this. Oh, that was a long time ago. Now you need to remove this because one of the news that we have that we did not document is that the JS user library is now a workable package. This is in provision that one day we're going to publish it to npm, and that it's going to not be this, but essentially just be like actually using the node package. In the meantime, this is what we got working, which is basically put it as a node package in your cache. So instead of using this /libprod.js, you can use JS user library. A little note, when I say a node package, yes, it is compatible with Node, but we have bugs right now that make the Node version not work and make the JavaScript version still work, the browser versions. And that's just a difference of packages. It's fixed. It's going to be fixed in 0.5.4. But for now, if you try to use this with Node, you might have some headaches. Okay, so now if I try to DFX build again, I should have updated my project to be 0.5.3. So I'm gonna make a commit here. Wait, I want to use the same format. Git commit. And it's going to be to upgrade to the project to 0.5.3. That way you guys can actually look at it and see what I did to know the difference. Okay. Okay, onward. So I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to start with this tab, checking the client. We have a little checkpoint here. It's going to start. It takes a little bit normally. Only Lucille says that it's a little bit optimistic to already include seasons in the commit message, and I agree with that. What's even more optimistic is that I include 2 digits of season, so we need to make it to 10 for this to be worth it. What can I say? I'm future-proof. Assuming we do 1 season per year, and this lasts to 99, I'd be fine with saying that I was wrong 100 years ago. But, you know, let's make it to 10. That would be great. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So if I remember properly, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Oh no, I rebuilt, so I need to canister install all. Oops, I missed the message. Okay, IC 849, I normally just, okay, so let's do something first. So cannot find canister ID. We all know why. I need to enter the canister ID as part of the argument so that it downloads the JavaScript. There is a bug here. No, it's not a bug. It actually works. Sorry. It actually works. The reason is that our JavaScript does nothing except print 1, 2, 3, because that's what I did here. I removed the old JavaScript. So what I wanted to show you, though, was the candid. So candid is /candid with canister ID there. And we can enter a new ID. Hans Larson is the other. And text is Hello, this is the first blog entry of the journey. There you go, waiting. Okay. So it created a new entry. It called it, it returned nothing. I was under the impression that it would return the ID, which it should, by the way, if we want to be like, there you go. That's going to be slightly better. But normally we add one before we add the entry, so this should be the entry number 1. We can see that the content is this, the other is this, the ID is 1, and if I do this, it's going to be null. There you go. Okay. So as you can see, the candidate UI is being like actively developed on. It starts making a lot of sense. We are improving on it every time. And yeah, you have your little like terminal log thing. And now it accepts nats and optional and all that. So this worked pretty well. Okay, so now we're gonna do a front end. So a little bit about front end. I'm a huge TypeScript proponent. I love TypeScript. I just can't work in JavaScript without TypeScript. I would use a better type system if there was one. I don't think there is one. I would like to have TypeScript in my C++ even. I'm slightly exaggerating for the sake of, drama. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna install save as dev, TS loader, TypeScript TS loader, and what else? So yeah, we're gonna use React and React DOM for our UI, and this is gonna be it, I think I'm winging it here, so if there's some hiccups, don't worry too much about it. And I'm sorry in advance if there is. So plugins, I think it's module. No, it's loader, webpack loader. Let me verify my other source of truth here, which is the webpack documentation. No, it's module. Okay, so module rules. There you go. That's what I was missing. The rules part. Test everything that has the extension. So extension is normally this JS or TS. So we can reduce JT. And then X or not. Yeah, that looks like an extension. So JSX, JS, JSX, TS, TSX, essentially. And then the loader is TS loader. That I just installed. And yeah. Module, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that sounds good. Let's see. Can I just rename this into, refactor, rename into TS and see if it works or not. Okay. DFX build. Actually, there's an easier way. npm run build just runs without running Motoko compiler. Unfortunately, it doesn't bundle the assets, so it doesn't work as a short round trip, but it's a good start. So the path argument must be of type string received undefined. Oh yes. Oh, you know what? I need to run DFX build. So there is one more thing here in the webpack config, which is DFX version or dfxjson.dfx. So if I have it in the dfxjson here, which ironically I removed because I wanted to keep it, but I could do npm run build. There you go. So there is no TS config because we didn't create one. the easiest way to create a TS config is to run tsc init. So that's what we're going to do. And then in this, it's very well documented. We're not going to remove all the documents, all the comments. We're going to add to it actually later. But for now, this should work. Can't resolve JS. Oh, that's because it is not a JS anymore, it's a TS. So we need to go to the webpack config and change that. Now I know the answers to that one already because I coded it, but we don't take the index directly from this. We take the index from info.frontend.entryPoint. Also, there's no candid anymore, I think. Candid should not be a thing anymore. You don't need this anymore, I think. I'm gonna leave it there, but if I remember properly. So entry point here. I want to get rid of this. This should all be in the webpack config or whatever tool. Like if you're using Angular, for example, the Angular JSON should have that information instead of the dfx.json. It doesn't make sense to be in this file. DFX should just be to drive DFX itself. Your frontend should use whatever build system your frontend should use. But for now, we'll just play the roles essentially and put the TS here. As you can see, it worked. So let's see if it still does what it's supposed to do. I cannot type. It's the morning here. I need my coffee. Okay, and DFX canister install all. So I get my new canister ID. And I want this, and it should print 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's it. Okay, so we now have a TypeScript project that works. You'll see that there is still a little bit of hiccups along the way. It doesn't work all the time, but for now that should be good enough. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start rendering stuff. I want to render things, right? So React uses React. Surprise. I'm not 100% sold we're gonna do React like this, but yeah. Could not find our declare module React. Oh, I needed typings for that? I thought React had typings already. I need to get the pop out. So, okay. So React does not have typings. That was interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have typings. Okay. Okay then. So tsconfig. Oh no, actually npm install at type/react. I guess. Do I need to do React DOM? Maybe. Now it does. Okay, so React dot. I got typing. I guess. No, React dot. There you go. I got typing. Suspense, strict mode, etc., etc. Okay. There you go. I just need to pop up the chat so I can keep talking to you guys. Next. Okay. So import render from React DOM, which is not going to have typing because that's just. I didn't install it. There you go. And now we go back. It has typing again. And what we're going to do is we're going to be good people and we're going to make a new folder named components. And inside components, I'm going to make a new file named app.ts6. There you go. Our index can stay TS. Can it? I think it can. No, but we'll figure it out. And so this can import star from as React from React, and class journey app extends React.component. So you know what? I'll be totally honest. Is there a React expert in the room? I haven't used React function components. I think I'm gonna try to do that. That sounds like a better idea in general. So function journey app, which takes props and return div hello world. There you go. So, oh yes, thank you for this message. This is very useful. We have to use this. And we're using React, so JSX should probably be React. And props is not used, so props does this. Basically, it's an object, it's an entity type, structural type. And okay, so what the last thing we need is to render it. We have our own thing here. So we need to import, we need to export journey app. Import journey app from components app. There you go. And the last thing we're gonna do is render it. So I wonder if I can do this. Apparently I can't. Get element by ID app. Now, I think I can do like create a ref, or oh boy, I need to use this, right? But that means I need to rename this to TSX, which probably is okay. All right, DFX build. I should start using my little shortcut, but yes, can't resolve in. Okay, so tsconfig, no, DFX, we said that it's TX, it's not TX. There you go. Okay, can't resolve this from there. So can't resolve this from there. So that means that I'm missing one thing here. Give me 1 second, guys. So I remember I made an example of a to-do app here that was really well done, and that had multiple files and used Redux and everything, and used the DFINITY computer for its backend. So for those who don't know me, I was working a lot at. I worked 4 years on the Angular team on the Angular CLI, so Angular is more my thing. But I use React here because it's more popular and I'm trying to reach a greater audience. If you want me to do a full episode on how to move this from React to Angular, I will be happy to do it. Just ask for it. if you're okay with everything that I'm demoing so far to be Angular, to be React, then that's fine too. But just know that React is not my strong suite, and I'm trying slowly to build it. So the thing is, it can't resolve it because there is a missing base URL, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. So base URL is somewhere. There is one field here that's missing, and I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's from Candid. Oh, that's interesting. So I should probably just remove Candid since we don't need it anymore. I think. We're going to figure that one out. Oh, okay. So I fixed half of it, but there's still the other half. So TSX, error in React, can't resolve components app. Module target hello.js. So, that might be my problem. I remember there was a few other little things in the TS config that I had to tweak. It took me like half an hour to Google it, and I don't want it to take half an hour here. Can't resolve. Yeah. So this no out there. Let me check. Declaration, source map, out there, out file, root there, no need, composite, no emit, import helpers, no implicit any. Yeah, so there's a module somewhere. It should be fairly tough. There you go. Module ES6. Oh, yeah, that might have been it. Like instead of using require, we need to use imports. And that's taking longer, so it might be solved. And no, but it's, oh. There you go then. What I'm, oh yes, oh my god. Okay, so I should have extensions, resolve extensions here. .tsx, .ts, .js. So we do that to tell it that these extensions are actually supported Webpack files, and Webpack should bundle them and not just air out. You would think TS Loader would fix that for us, but apparently not. Okay, so interesting. Only encasing. So you know what? Nuclear option. I've got a fast internet connection. I've got everything in my cache already. What I could probably do is in this one is I can put in exclude also to remove known modules and TFX build. As engineers, we're used to having downtimes like these where we just wait for something to work. What I like to do is listen to a little bit of music, but I'm not going to put music. Speaking of which, I don't even need those because I'm not listening anymore to anything. So, There seems to be a problem with that. React and Webpack, there you go. I think that was the thing I followed. Yes. Source map loaders, we don't need source maps. So, okay. So we're gonna go through this. So JSX is React. Module doesn't matter. No implicit any doesn't matter. Source map true doesn't matter. Out there doesn't matter. Module common JS. I'm not sure it matters. It might. Write some code. Okay. Okay. Create a Webpack. Oh, there you go. That was the module ES6 apparently didn't work so well. Oh, because of casing. Yes, that makes sense. That was the error. It was trying to be good, and I didn't listen to my Webpack, which happens a lot because you don't want to listen too much to Webpack. So DFX build, so DFX canister install, and we should have a hello world. This is the old canister. There you go, and we have a hello world. We have no bugs, and this should be inside a div. It's inside a div. It's inside app. It's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so the next step is going to be to get everything from our canister. So what we're going to do right now is going in here. We're going to import our canister code. So import journey from IC canisters journey. Journey is the name that we give it in the DFX. So this name here is very important. And it creates the IC canisters journey inside the Webpack. So if you change your Webpack for something really fancy, you still need to include something like this to list aliases for IC canisters and IC IDL. We talked a little bit in the past on that. I'll cover it a little bit more when we go deeper into it. But for the moment, that is what it is. And cannot find module, that is perfectly normal. What we need to do here is adding some path mapping to tsconfig. There you go, path mapping is here. And what we're going to do is adding IC canister /star is essentially solving it to canisters /star/main.js. And this should help. There you go. Now we have proper typing. Almost. Oh yeah, so we need to add, this is going to come really soon because I still don't like it, but we need a DTS here, main.dts that is based on the did, etc., etc. And then we would get actual proper typings. But for now, this is going to be fine. Function components async React. Like a good engineer, I just Google stuff. Okay. So I think I need to be smart, a little bit smarter than this. I think I cannot do async here. What I need to do is use an effect that would fix that. So const state equal no, actually what I want here is to use a list. So entry list. This is the front page. This is the front page, so really like what we need is another component here that is the entry list. There you go. Export function entry list. Props. I don't even need props anymore. I don't have this. Okay. And so I think what I need to do is oh, async reactor. Okay, so there is a thing called async reactor to get async. Is that a good package? Normally you want to make sure that everything works fine. So you have a loader, you have time, and then you export default async reactor. So, okay. So I'm gonna try it. It seems to have a release 2 years ago. That things probably improved since then. So I'm just gonna try. You know, sometimes like nothing like a good get entry 1 console.log get entry 1 and then return div let entry equal await, because it's all promises, so entry dot, let's just do JSON dot stringify. We're gonna be like really bad, but we're gonna make it prettier. We have 15 minutes for this. Why is this? Oh yeah, so it's not gonna work. Async doesn't work. An async function. So so const entry list, entry set entry. We're not going to use set entry, so we can just ignore it. Use state of nothing. And essentially what I'm going to do is use effect. Can effect take an async? It seems like it can. And so we're going to do entry here. Set, oh, so this is how set entry. This is how this works. There you go. There you go. So it seems like this is how it works. So we haven't, I don't know why you don't like this. It's going to be object-object, but you know. So essentially, we have a state which contains nothing from the start, and then we use a side effects that will update the state once in a while and return, like update, recall this function when set entry is called. And so, oh, this still can be used like that. I cannot find global value promise. What? Type effect callback. So so we set the entry, like we use old style promises, I guess. Async await doesn't seem to work very well, so we install, and then Hello world. This didn't seem to do anything. Oh, because we're still on the old one. Yep. Okay, minified React error. For the full message, object with keys entry. Yes. So, yeah. I was trying to do something nice to React, but apparently it didn't like it. So, I'm just gonna do this. Now we build and reinstall. There you go. We have a new code. It's always fun. Okay. Object with keys. Oh, so that's the same thing. Okay, well, let's see what React has to say about that. Objects are not valid as a React child. What do you mean objects are not valid? We're gonna skip the question of whether or not we can run. Yeah, that's the same thing. Okay. Pretty pissed about myself on that one. I should have known that. It's a single, it's not double. Angular is double, React is single. Mustache is double. I don't know who else is single. I mean, single brackets, not single anything else. Okay, so get entry is not a function. Now that seems to be a little bit more, make more sense. And that's because it's get. So what we're gonna do here is public query function list. Max is a natural and async entry. So let result of type entry equal nothing. And what we're gonna do is that so we're gonna look at our arrays 053 stdlib. So what we're gonna do is look at the take the top x, the last x entries of the blog and return that. So I think we just need to find a range. Tabulate. I think it's tabulate. But I wanna make sure that I'm using the right thing here. Yeah, it's tabulate. I'm just not sure what this thing here is. So let's try it. So entries.tabulate max func I entries I. Okay, DFX build. Yes. Oh, yes. Everything that's separate two statements must have a semicolon. Type errors, too few arguments. So tabulate takes a len and a gen. Func gen I nat entries I. Type error. Oh, yes. So I need to, this returns an entry. So enumerate. 2533. Because I need a type error, two type arguments. Yes. So entries that len. I'm not sure len is a thing. Len is a thing. Yeah, this needs to be -1. Okay. Anyway, okay. This is gonna fail. This is gonna fail when I try to get when I try to list. Wait, was it list of 1? Then list set entry of list of 1. Yes, it does. And that's where journey ideal comes in handy. So we have ideal things. We need to add it to our path mapping here for TypeScript. Yeah, essentially. So the ideal itself is the typing of this. So, but we won't have it. So, yeah, the IDL should have the typing for entry. For example, there is a const entry equal IDL record. And we should, when we generate the TTL, we should do that. The DTS, we should use that. For now, we're going to just implicitly any it. And we're going to remove this because we don't actually need it. We only need it if we try to call directly without using all the good like little promises interface that we built for you guys. Okay. So now I'm actually curious what will happen if I do this. Rejected message canister. So if we go to the canister itself, could not perform query on canister, trapped explicitly natural subtraction underflow. So it resulted in -1 because indexes are naturals, they cannot be minus, and so this underflowed. So what we can do is, what we should do is, if max is greater than entries.len -1, actually, let's start here. If entries.len equals 0, return empty array. If max is greater than entries.len, max is entries.len. Let's be honest here. And now this should work better. This should not underflow at least. There's a bunch of missing semicolons because it's separate two statements. Expected mutable assignment target. So var m equal max m. So essentially max is not mutable. I'm not sure if there's a way to put this as mutable, but I'm just going to create a local mutable variable. So let is constant and var is mutable. Slightly better. I don't think we crashed. No, we didn't. Okay. So now, let's see, canister call journey get one should return none. Get not get list of one should return empty vector. Okay, that looks good. Now new entry Hans hello world. There you go. That's created. It's the index of one. So list of one return me one entry, and get one return me this. List of 5 should return me 1. Excellent. And now if I hello world 2, there you go. And if I list 5, I should have 2. Yes. So if I do this, you can see that I have the last one. And that's actually what we want, except that we just took the 0th entry. So what we want is this. This should be an array, and then dfx build. I swear, sometime soon, real soon, we'll fix the whole like build, install, and not reuse the ID. Like, there are so many ways to help on that. Okay, so because we have a new canister, we're gonna get like 2 new entries, 8 new entries. Okay, and that's because we list only 1, so we want to list the last 10 at least. And then unfortunately I changed the front end, I changed the code, I need to reinstall. And then can't reuse. So of course this here. Okay. And new entry. Sorry. Talking for too long. Talking for a long time. Okay, so okay, 1, 2, 3. And then now if I do this, I should have 3, 2, 1, which is exactly what we want. Things work great. So just to recap, we have 2 minutes. We're going to make this prettier next time. But essentially what we did is start using React right away. Implement a little div UI to show you how it was done. Render this, showed up how we use the bindings to just import journey and then use it directly as a promise-based interface. And of course, we added the list function that returns an array and not just a get that returns a single entry. And it returns it in last first. So we can actually just show it in order when we show it in the front page. And this was it for this episode of Hacking on the Internet Computer. Let me switch up to this. And thank you everybody for coming. This will be available on YouTube rather quickly because I think I just have to cut it now. I don't have to do anything at all. And well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can come. We're all active on forum.definity.org. And if you want the documentation and get started, sdk.definity.org. Finally, if you want to see this code in action on your own computer, this is uploaded in Hansel in the GitHub. Oops. There you go. Hansel/journey. I'll put a little this way. Yes, I'll put a little QR code like this one for these links, and of course it will be in the description. And if you want to add me on Twitter, I'm always on Twitter at least a few times a day. I don't. And if you ask me questions about DFINITY or what we do, I'll definitely answer you. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. All right, and that's it for this week. See you in 2 weeks, which is going to be the 26th, for another episode of Hacking on the Internet Computer. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay safe.